Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with coconut cream French toast. That's right, I don't know about you, but I like to make very realistic, easy to keep New Year's resolutions. And one of those for me this year is to raise my brunch and breakfast game. And that's what inspired today's presentation, is we're going to be doing a coconut spike version of classic French toast. And by the way, do not let the name fool you. I know it sounds decadent and unhealthy, but in reality, this is actually probably better for you than the traditional version. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And first up, we're going to prep the batter. And for that, let's crack one large egg into a mixing bowl, to which we will add one egg yolk. And sure, you could probably just put both whole eggs in there. But for me, this comes out nicer with a little higher yolk to white ratio. And then to our eggs, we're going to need to add some coconut milk, which, just in case you haven't worked with it before, looks like this. All right, it comes in a can, and it kind of looks like heavy cream. And it has the most beautiful, subtly sweet coconut flavor. So we will add some of that to our eggs, and then continue on with a teaspoon of sugar, as well as a few drops of pure vanilla extract. And please do not substitute impure. And then last but not least, we'll also do a little touch of freshly grated nutmeg. And that's going to be it for this very simple, yet as you'll see, very effective batter. And then all we need to do is take a whisk and give that a mix, at which point that's ready to use to soak our bread. And what I like to use is some stale, at least day-old, French or Italian bread that we've sliced about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick. And above and beyond burning it, the only way to screw up French toast is to use not stale bread. Okay, if our bread's not stale, it's not going to soak in that batter like we want. So if you only remember one thing from this video, let it be this. As we say in the business, if your bread's not dry, your French toast ain't fly. All right, so that is crucial. But assuming you are working with some nice stale, fairly dry bread, we can go ahead and start dunking that into our batter. And how I like to do this is give each slice a good dunking, and then I'll kind of pile those up as I go, dunking the next ones into the batter at the bottom. And then what we'll do once those are all thoroughly coated is let them sit there on the counter, giving them a toss every 2 to 3 minutes until the batter is pretty much all absorbed. So we'll give them a toss, we'll let them sit there for a few minutes, and then we'll give them another toss, moving the wetter ones from the bottom to the top, and the drier ones from the top to the bottom. And roughly, 15-20 minutes later, this is what mine looked like. I pretty much had full absorption. And yes, if you want, you could do this ahead in the fridge. In fact, in the restaurant, the bread was so dry we used to soak those the night before and then cook them the next day. But anyway, once our nice stale bread has fully absorbed our batter, we are ready to cook our coconut cream French toast in a little bit of butter. Okay, just enough to coat the pan. Yes, I'm joking, we want a ton of butter here. And we will melt that over medium heat, and we'll go ahead and transfer our bread in. And then once that's been accomplished, all we need to do is cook these on medium for about, 5 minutes or so per side, or until the outside's nicely browned and kind of crispy, and the inside is cooked through. And by the way, I'm guessing at 5 minutes. Forget I even said that. So the exact time is going to be up to you, as you are the host of your French toast. So I don't want you paying too much attention to the time. I want you to go by appearance and feel and common sense. So we will let that first side cook on medium until we see it getting brown, at which point we can go ahead and flip those over. And believe it or not, we will do the exact same thing to the other side. But wait, there's more. Once I have both sides kind of brown, I do like to flip them back over. So I'm really making sure I'm getting a nice crust on both sides. And you might be thinking, hey, isn't that extra flipping going to cause it to absorb more butter? Yes, I hope. So we will continue cooking on medium until we think those have gone long enough. And here's how I can tell. The bread's actually going to kind of spring back to the touch. Okay, if it feels mushy, it's probably not done. So we want to feel it spring back, as well as we want it to have formed a nice crispy surface, which we of course will test with a fork, because as you know, fork don't lie. And of course, anytime you're doing something like this, some are going to finish before others. So once a piece finishes, go ahead and remove it to a pan, and we can just keep those in a warm oven. And speaking of oven, yes, you can just brown these and finish them all in the oven. But since these weren't too thick, I ended up just doing them right in the pan. And then once we've determined those are all crispy and cooked through, we are ready to serve up, which I'm going to do, of course, on a warm plate, because I care about my guests. And then at this point, you are free to finish your coconut cream French toast any way you want. But what follows is my official serving suggestion, which starts with a generous drizzle of maple syrup. Grade B, of course. Oh yeah, grade B is the money syrup. So we will drizzle over some of that, but not too much, because we have 2 more slightly sweet garnishes. The first of which would be some freshly sliced mango. And the key with a fruit garnish like this is that you want enough, but you don't want to put too much. So try to put on the perfect number of slices. And then to bring this all together, what we'll do is finish this up with some toasted coconut, which I think is going to look great and taste great. but also provide a little textural contrast. And then last but not least, I garnish with a little wedge of lime, because that is so good with mango. And that's it, our coconut cream French toast is ready to enjoy. And I really did love this, which is a little bit of a surprise since I'm not into sweet breakfasts. Not a huge French toast person. Plus, coconut is not my favorite thing. But despite all that, I really did enjoy this. And no, it doesn't really taste like a coconut cream pie. That name just sounded better than coconut French toast. But while it's not really creamy and decadent, it still has the most wonderful, subtle, sweet coconut flavor that is just absolutely perfect with that tangy fruit and toasted pieces of coconut, as well as the optional fresh lime juice, which I just remembered I put on the plate here. And that actually did make it even more enjoyable. So anyway, that's it, what I'm calling coconut cream French toast. Like I said, one of my very attainable New Year's resolutions was to up my breakfast and brunch game a little bit this year. And I think this is a pretty good start. So I really do hope you give this a try soon. Head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.